day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Kamusta Nars. In this episode, we will be featuring an RN that we have deployed just last March. And she's actually assigned in Great Plains, Nebraska, and she deployed together with her family. So let's welcome Stephanie Barrero. Okay, so Stephanie, how are you? How's your duty?
Third day ko po. And so far, third day na busy ko talaga.
Third day, tapos so ibig sabihin, tapos na yung orientation period mo or third day under orientation period pa rin?
Natapos na po ako sa orientation. Bale,
okay.
I just got off. Yes po. Today is the 15th here, so there it's the 16th, right?
Yeah.
So, I got released from my orientation na the 13th lang, parang the other day. Sorry about my kids.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
So, yun po. And I already received an email from my office congratulating me that I'm already of orientation.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good to hear, Stephanie. And by the way, we'd like to reintroduce ourselves. All right. So again, my name is Paul. I'm one of the deployment supervisors here in Health Carousel. And with us today is Vaughn, one of our international deployment advisors. Vaughn?
Good evening. Hi, sir.
Yeah. So, Steph, so welcome to our Kamusta Nars. So, of course, in this session, our aim is for you to share tips and advices sa mga kapwa natin RNs and other healthcare professionals na i-deploy pa natin sa US. And of course, for you to share your experiences as well nung dumating ka sa US. So, Steph, just a little bit of your background lang. We'd like to know, saan ka galing dito sa Philippines? Ano yung province mo dito?
I came from Ilocos Norte, sir, sa Lawag City.
Lawag. So, Ilocano ka. Okay.
Nakakapagtagalog naman noon pa.
Nakakapagtagalog na. Okay, that's good. That's good to know at least, diba? So, hindi natin nakalimutan yung roots. So, when we deployed you last March, so technically, it's its first day mo sa US, diba? How was it? Kumusta yung adjustment? Especially, you deployed together with your kids.
So, the flight itself, I would say, very exhausting talaga, sir. Kasi, lap baby ako. Yung anak ko, ayaw sumama sa iba. Akin lang. So, the entire 12-hour flight, nasa akin lang siya, buhat-buhat ko lang siya. So, I had severe, pain, muscle pain siya talaga sa shoulders ko, sa braso ko. I even asked the flight attendant na to give me ng ibuprofen. Kung meron ba siyang ibuprofen, meron lang daw sila para kailangan. Humingi na ako ng dalawa kasi masakit na talaga.
Masakit na talaga. Eh, di ba you deployed together with your husband? So, ayaw din sumama ni baby sa kay husband
ayaw
mo?
Din po. Oo, ayaw din po. Katabi ko yung sister ko.
Oo.
Pinapasa ko sa kanya, ayaw din sumama ng baby ko. So, talagang ako lang po talaga.
Ikaw lang. So, all throughout that flight, no? Ikaw lang.
Yes po. Oo. And
so,
then,
when you arrive, saan yung unang state na napuntahan nyo?
Ang point of entry or port of entry po namin is San Francisco, California. So, technically, sa California ho talaga. But then, dati kasi, yung schedule po ng flight, may naging window period kami ng almost 22 hours or almost more than 18 hours po.
So, parang
something medyo mahaba.
Half day, parang ganun.
Opo, so dumating kami ng gabi ng San Francisco. We were able to get off from the airport at around 10:30, mga ganun. And then syempre kami ignorante sa in and out. In and out pa kami. And then since may relative kasi kami sakto-sakto talaga sa San Francisco, tapos napakalapit nila sa airport, mga 5 minutes away even with the traffic, 5 to 10 minutes max. So doon muna kami kasi nagpaalam ako noon kay Miss Liza kung pwede ba. Kasi parang ang haba po kasi talaga nung layover. So inisip namin kasi kung hotel, baka mamaya mapagastos pa kami. Syempre nagsisimula, ayaw namin So parang sabi lang sa akin ni Miss Liza noon, i-coordinate niya sa parang sa travel team and such. So, yun naman yung sinabi niya. Pero so far, wala naman parang naging issue.
Wala naman naging issue.
Parang, opo, wala naman daw po. So, dun na kami nakitulog sa actually yung andun ho talaga sa San Francisco is yung kapatid ng lola ko and yung brother and sister ko.
Alright,
so basically kasama ko na talaga ho sila at that time.
So nakapagpahinga ka after nung long flight?
Ay naku, hindi pa rin po.
Hindi pa rin.
So, jet lag po talaga.
Jet lag pa din. Okay, so yun actually maswerte tayo kasi 'di ba dumating ka March. So at saktong-sakto rin nagpe-prepare din yung mga tao sa 4th of July, no. So kumusta yung experience sa experience mo sa 4th of July?
So far po sa 4th of July kasi dapat manonood kami sa park. Kaya lang yung mga kids ko napagod ata mag-playground ng hapon. Tulog na sila. Hindi kami makalabas.
Hindi na kayo nakalabas.
Pero I've heard a lot of fireworks and the following day po kasi duty ako. And my patients asked me, "What did you do yesterday?" And they were like, "Have you seen the fireworks?" I was not able to watch it. And then one patient asked to be put near the window so she could watch the fireworks and stuff. So doon ko nakita na parang grabe iba yung nila sa 4th of July. It's like New Year talaga nila dito.
Oo, tama. So,
and everyone was buying fireworks. 50% off.
So yun ginagastosan talaga nila? So ginagastosan talaga nila yung yung 4th of July.
Ka.
Oo. So I mean yung 4th of July yun talaga
sir,
yung
ginagastosan. Yes sir, nakita namin ang daming stalls.
Okay. All right. So nakita ko
sabi ko nga ang weird, no? New Year, wala.
Tapos biglang 4th of July marami, no?
Oh.
So nakita ko kanina sa background mo, parang sa apartment ka na. So na yan na yung nakuha niyong apartment nyo.
Yes po.
Okay. So, kumusta naman yung sa paghahanap ng apartment? Di naman ba kayo nahirapan? Or may nag-assist naman sa inyo?
Hindi po kami nahirapan. Sobrang smooth po kasi. Before pa ako na-deploy, yung housing team na ni Health Carousel mismo, nag-send siya ng possible na parang prospects ko ng list ng apartments na pwede na i-check. And parang naghahanap po kami ng parang lower ground, pero same complex lang din po. And then, ang nangyari, so hindi ko pa muna tinake kasi sabi ng husband ko, pagka daw kasi pala mag-change ng address, i-update mo yung DMV, magpapalitan ulit yung card mo. Mag-aantay ka ulit ng certain amount certain period of time bago ulit ma-issue. Yung sa husband ko, like almost a month bago na-issue yung sa driver's license. Ang binigay lang sa kanya, papel.
Okay. So,
hindi
parang
naman
temporary license.
Valid ID. Opo, ganun. May litrato ka ba nun? Oo, no? Parang mugshot daw.
Alright. Sige, so thank you, Stephanie. Now, this time, kasi di ba kakarating nyo lang dyan sa US, no? So this time, let's talk about yung pre-deployment travel. So I have here my colleague with me, Yvonne. So he will be asking some of the questions regarding your pre-deployment. Yvonne?
So, hi, Steph.
Hi, Sir Von.
Ayan. So, just to share lang naman, Steph, no? So let us talk about ano ba yung naging pre-deployment preparations mo. So ano ba yung mga essentials, you as a family, ano ba yung mga naging preparations for your deployment. Ayan. So you may share para at least, di ba, may may makuhang tips rin yung mga next na ma-deploy nating candidates. Ano ba yung mga preparations, especially ikaw, you have dependents, may children ka, ano ba yung mga kailangan talagang i-ready, i-prepare for your US deployment?
Well, most importantly talaga ko na prepare namin is that yung legal documents. Lahat, we obtained extra copies ng birth certificates, yung mga yan, yung mga marriage certificates, mga ganyan. Kasi hindi namin alam kung kakailanganin ba obviously kakailanganin namin kasi may mag-school sa amin na bata. So we got duplicates or extra copies of our legal documents. That's one. And we kept it in a easy to reach bag sa hand carry during the before the flight, na lahat ng importanteng docs is kasama, even yung mga visa packets. We all kept it in one place, and one person just nag-designate lang kami kung sino magki-carry noon, which is my husband. So parang lahat yun intact, parang ito yung bag na containing every one of our documents. So with regards to necessities, we prioritize the kids' medications. Ako, yung medications ko din, I mean, meron kasi ako maintenance med for my thyroid problem. And so I got like more than 3 months of supply yung kinuha ko. For the kids, I got mga over-the-counter meds like mga pang-ubo, pang-sipon, yung neb machine, nagdala ako. Nebules namin, nagdala ako. With the toiletries, yung kaya lang, wag yung sobrang bigat kasi it could add more weight sa luggage. So, pwede mo sanang pandagdag man lang kunwari ng damit or whatever. With the clothes, kasi alam kong malamig kung saan ipupuntahan namin, and I even asked some of my future co-workers, yun ang term ko lang, future co-workers ko kung ano yung mga gamit, anong usually talaga, gaano ba kalamig. And it came to a point na umabot pa kami na -15, -16 dito. So, sabi ko, we're gonna need like warmers talaga. So, for like 3 months ahead, I started to buy mga heat tech namin. We started to invest in clothing. Started to buy yung mga coat na parang mga fur coat, something kung kaya man lang, or kahit yung mga Sherpa line lang. But we did not really bring you so much kasi based from other people din na napagtanungan ko, do not bring as much kasi yung clothing natin sa Pilipinas is not totally applicable dito sa weather. So we did not really get much ng mga damit. Ang prioritize talaga namin mga jeans, mga warmers, mga knit, mga long sleeve, and then mga ano pa ba? Sa mga shoes, hindi ko na dinala yung mga pamporma, malabang obviously.
Marami na dyan.
Oo, marami na dito. And mga bags as well, hindi na kami talaga sobrang nagdala yung mga pamporma-porma na yan, hindi na talaga. We prioritize what we thought would be important. Toiletries, minimal lang. Kung sa mga gaya kong maaarte, magdala sila ng skincare nila. Kasi yung skin ko na-shock sa transition dito.
Sa weather.
So, talagang naglabasan lahat ng pimples. So, yung parang sinasabi nga nila na naiwan lahat ng ganda sa Pilipinas. Ganun yung nangyari. And sa mga meds, it's important na magdala nung kung ano man yung prescription meds nila, magdala na lang din ng parang order or whatever, or prescription nila. Kasi bawal dito ang parang nagpapaship. And online, unlike online sa atin sa Pilipinas, we could get like over-the-counter creams or whatever na di ba kaya nating bumili sa Shopee, Lazada na kahit kailangan ng reseta, kabili. But in here, prescription needed, lahat ganun. So, one more advice siguro, I would say sa future candidates, if ever preparation, kumuha ng, kung kaya naman ng budget, I'm not saying na it's a must, but kung kaya lang ng budget nila, kumuha ng insurance na pwedeng magamit dito. Kasi when I arrived here, the very first day, kasi March 20 yun March 19 yung nag-flight kami, andito na kami ng March 20. That very same day, and then the following day, nag-sore throat na ako at lahat. So, I was having fevers na, No, so, yun din yung time na gagawa kami ng activities with my arrival
Travel
coordinator. So, I had to let her know na I'm not feeling well. So, we had to look for someone to look at me and stuff. I did not go to the urgent care, something. Wala pa akong insurance.
Oh.
And I paid $100 for the consultation fee alone. And then I had to pay for the meds, which it's kind of like, for me, I felt like bummed because consultation fee cost me like $100, and then the med that I got cost less than $10. So it's like, wow, nadagdagan ng zero. Ito ako. And so, kung kaya lang naman nila, pero kung gaya naman ng mga kalabaw yung tipong, siyempre pag Pilipino, other than that, hindi na ako nagkasakit. Luckily, sa mga anak ko, wala pa. So, kung kaya lang din naman. Pero kung hindi, okay lang din. Basta weeks man lang or kahit a month bago pa yung deployment, magpalakas na ng katawan talaga.
Ayan.
Vitamins na, ganon.
Ayan. So, thank you dun, Steph. And yun nga, you mentioned talagang more on essentials talaga yung pinrepair mo.
Opo.
Okay. And you also mentioned, yun nga, pagdating mo ng US, talaga nag-adjust yung katawan. Okay, so especially with the weather, syempre yung flight, yung long haul flight nyo and all. Ngayon naman, discuss naman natin ngayon, Steph, and also share mo rin lang naman kung kanina yung pre-deployment na preparations mo. Ngayon naman is yung clinical preparedness mo. Okay, so do you have any tips, anything to share? Ayan, ano ba yung naging adjustment mo, especially working as an RN dito sa Philippines compared sa US? Ano ba yung mga assistance na pinrovide ni Health Carousel pagdating mo dyan? And so far, you mentioned rin, ika-third day mo pa lang ngayon? Tama, Steph?
Ng off-orientation, sir. Yes.
Orientation, yan. So,
off-orientation na siya.
Off-orientation. Okay, so yun, just to share mo rin lang ano, kamusta experience mo sa orientation mo and all. So, ayan.
So, when I got here, of course, Health Carousel never really failed to help. So, Miss Lori was very accommodating, very responsive, helped us look for the apartments or scout the apartments na we were able to reach out kasi yung iba may available but in 2 weeks pa, so we don't want to spend 2 weeks at the hotel kasi we were also thinking that the allowance that Health Carousel could give for the housing allowance, we could already use that as a down payment sa rent. So we got yung pinaka-okay na and the soonest that we could move in. And so far, this is the compound that multiple Health Carousel candidates are also in here. Madaming Pinoy. Okay. So, yun agad yung kinuha namin. And syempre yan, kailangan maging prepared talaga mag-drive. Kasi before I came here, I wasn't really driving much around before. And then Miss Lori was like, then we'll go get your vehicle, we'll go pick it up. And I was like, really? Today? And yeah, today. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, how am I gonna get back to the hotel? But yeah, I mean, those things, yeah, pa-survive naman so far. And Miss Lori was very thorough din naman sa pag-guide and hindi kami nilet down sa clinicals naman. So when I was cleared na to start, so actually I came in here with someone from Uganda. Her name's Rita. So we started on the very same date as well. Same facility, same area, but different shifts. So I was placed on the day shift and she was placed on the night shift. So the very first day of orientation, as in with the HR and meeting the CEO of the hospital and all of that. Very first day, we were the director of our unit, the clinical nurse educator, and even the nurse coordinator during the day met with us and invited us for lunch because they wanted to spend their time with us just to get to know us first prior to heading to our respective units after like a week of basic orientation about the hospital and everything. So very accommodating, which is very, very nice because they're very open to cultural diversity.
Yes.
And they ask us what our preferences for the shifts and about food, or they're like asking, how was your adjustment about food? Of course, the biggest thing I would say, kahit naman siguro sino, and when you go to some place, the biggest adjustment would be food. So, and even the weather. So far, both of us came from very, would say, hot countries. So the weather, because when we came in here, we could see na may snow na melt. Tapos in like 2 days, nagkakaroon ng snowstorm. So medyo nawindang talaga kami. And then talaga sa clinicals, I was surprised at how knowledgeable our clinical nurse educators sa facility, as in tipong mamabangha ka na lang talaga na ang galing-galing nila. Parang gano'n.
Starstruck.
Yung tipong sabi ko, bakit parang alam mo na lang nila lahat? Gano'n. So, dun ko na further education here is like very important to them if they want to step up. So that's one. And one good thing as well is they're very like accepting of your limitations when it comes to the capabilities mo. Because hindi naman siguro lahat is nakapag-experience, ganon. But ako kasi, since meron, yung kasama ko meron din. But yung kasama ko kasi, she was not really a bedside nurse before. She was a manager daw before. So, yun ang napag-differentiate ko sa aming dalawa. Because me coming from the Philippines, and with the equipment that we use from my previous hospital, is almost as the same with the equipment that we're using currently here. So the transition wasn't really hard. Yeah. So with the equipment, with the materials as well, and they don't call yung diapers natin dyan kunwari sa Pilipinas. They don't call it diapers. They don't call it underpads. They call it briefs. They call it chuck. And I could really differentiate in the manner of work, because in the Philippines, I mean, back from my facility before, from my previous job, it's like, yeah, total bedside work, but you could also leave some of the work with a relative. In here, no. And they're very, very particular with fall. As in super sa fall. And they like it when nurses like us Filipinos that you communicate to them.
Yeah.
They like it when you update them, or just let them know how you're doing. Just because they say, di ba, Filipinos give the best care.
Yeah.
And so I would say importante talaga yung my bedside experience.